Greetings, fellow sailors. Now, if you're on this webinar, I know you're passionate about sailing. And the crazy times we're living in today, who a few months ago would have thought that 80% or more of us would be on stay-at-home orders? In a little bit, you're going to hear from my friend and our base manager in the Virgin Islands, Compton Wince. And it appears that we have people on board from many countries. Some of you know about our industry. Many of you work in the industry. And some of you may not know much about our industry. Hope to keep it rather simple and going to open it up at the end for questions and answers. I'm fortunate enough to have spent the majority of my life in the marine industry. I have worked for 2 of the 3 largest charter companies in the world. And before we get going, quick special shout out to my dad who taught me to sail. And not in that picture, we sailed across the Atlantic together when he was 84, just had his 90th birthday a couple days ago. Happy birthday, Dad. So a little bit about who Navigare is. We are the 3rd largest charter operator in the world. We're privately owned. And we have management offices in Sweden, Croatia, and where I am right now in Florida in the United States. We have 11 destinations, over 300 yachts. We've been chartering and selling yachts since 2001, and over $50 million in revenue in 2019. See a picture of the 2 founders, Jesper Rongard and Per Abramson. And what I'd like to do is get a little greeting right now from Jesper Rongard.
Hi, I'm Jesper Rongard, CEO and founder of Navigare Yachting. Thank you so much for tuning into our webinar tonight. I'm speaking to you from Malmö, Sweden, and due to the time difference, I won't be able to be with you live tonight. These are extraordinary times. But remember, always when you're in the middle of a storm, there is always sunshine around the corner. And with the speed this thing is moving, I'm sure we will see some sunshine very soon. Today we want to update you on the current developments and what Navigare can do to make sure you get a great charter experience with us very soon. And with that, I leave over to our fantastic U.S. General Manager, Mr. Philip.
So today, what I'd like to talk about is the status of border closures and travel restrictions, the impact on the charter industry, including our Navigare destinations, what you can expect in the next few weeks, what to do if you have an existing booking, and if you are looking to book, what are your options, the impact on the shipyards and yacht purchasing, and how to support your favorite charter operator. Then we'll open it up for questions and answers at the end. So right now, again, we are navigating uncertain times. Never seen anything like this, never imagined anything like this. The situation changes rather quickly, and I'll go through our locations specifically, but in general, Europe has closed the borders. Even borders inside Europe have been closed, making it difficult for people to get around. US and Canada have travel advisories against foreign countries, if you could even get there. Many of you are in shelter in place, as I will be at midnight tonight. And everybody is waiting for the curve to flatten, and we'll see how things go. Let's talk about the Virgin Islands base. We have a tremendous location, and currently in the Virgin Islands, we have 3 coronavirus cases and complete lockdown. There's been a curfew in place for a week and very strict. They let everybody know, go get your shopping done. That was actually opened back up at 6 a.m. for rotating parts of the population to go stock up on groceries, and then extended through April 16th. Optimistically, we'd like to reopen mid-May. And Mediterranean bases. This is going to vary country by country. And let's go through the countries. In Croatia, there's social distancing through April 19th, and the border restrictions are in place. We will be keeping everybody up to date on when things open. Greece, the hotels have closed through April 30th, so I think that's a pretty good indicator of what we can expect there. Spain, they're getting the worst of the coronavirus right now. Hopefully they are on the downward portion, and we hope there's some sort of a sign about where we can go in the future. Turkey has basically allowed no more international passenger flights, and we don't have any more information about that. So those bases, optimistically, we're looking for a mid-May opening, and could very well slip into mid-June. And other bases, those are our big bases. Sweden, wonderful sailing there. We may be able to open on time. Typically it opens last week of May, first part of June. And Sweden has kind of a different take on the coronavirus. They're still open, and hopefully they're going to be able to weather this storm in good fashion. Thailand just recently announced closures of their borders, including Phuket. We're tentatively looking at a mid-May opening, and of course, none of these dates are set in stone. The Seychelles, we have a new base opening November 2020. We do not expect the coronavirus to impact that base at all. For those of you looking to not have to travel too far, we are expecting our Rhode Island base to be open in June. So the impact to Navigare, and frankly, you know, I'm really talking about all my colleagues in the industry as well. There's been a significant drop in charter inquiries in March, as you might imagine, and the activity's actually been picking up. So we seem to be doing a little bit better now, and I would expect that. As we get more charter bookings, that's a good sign. Yacht sales, believe it or not, are the inquiries are quite up, and I hope that's the same with all my colleagues in the industry. I have a feeling a lot of people have some free time at home and maybe doing a little bit of surfing and getting ready to take the plunge when things get a little more certain. All of the major companies have been in serious cost-saving mode. Navigare, like our colleagues, have had temporary layoffs. Very difficult for us, but it's really the case. Look at the industry as a whole has had basically 100% of the revenue stream cut off. So the med season definitely going to be delayed. We would love to open in mid-May. Really hope to certainly to be open by the 1st of June. BVI, we're playing it day by day. The BVI really super excited. They've done a complete lockdown. They've held it to 3 cases, so that could bode well for a quick opening. Same with Thailand. When things do open up, we do not expect the floodgates to be completely opened all at once. We're going to have a gradual recovery. And I think my opinion is that we're going to have charters being booked in areas that are close to home. Europeans will be doing more chartering in Europe, for the Americas, Caribbean, and potentially US bases as well. Okay, so here's the big question. When are we going sailing? That's the million-dollar question. Wish I could answer for sure. None of my colleagues at this point know exactly when their bases are going to open. Follow us on our website, likewise on the other charter companies' websites. They're posting everything as it becomes available. So check the websites as we know more. So we're going to be doing webinars more frequently. The next webinar will actually be from our European office in 2 weeks at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on April 16th. We're trying to set up, assuming we have access to the boats, a virtual boat show live from the Virgin Islands on our boats. So we hope that Compton and the team can get onto the boats and show us what's happening there. So here we get into some real meat and potatoes. What do you do if you have an existing booking? If you're watching this webinar to find out what to do, again, things are uncertain and moving, and we're not sure exactly where we're going to be in the near term, but it changes quickly. Right now, for departures dates up to April 30th, you'll have a free credit, full credit, and towards your booking for a new charter, basically up through the same dates in 2021. So if you have travel plans beyond May 1st, go ahead and hold on for now. We're optimistic about that date, but if we have a best case scenario, that's still the case. We're going to be rolling through bookings as we move along, and if that date gets pushed out, we'll be extending those dates. So make sure that you're up to date on any payments if you have charter bookings, and the normal terms and conditions apply. If you did book through a broker, your brokers are standing by. They'll help you with any rebooking. So we have some information from our colleagues in the industry. Dream Yacht Charters, very similar to our rebooking policies. You can have a look at that. And also the Moorings. So currently they do have a charter suspension up until May 11th. So that's, again, we would be very excited to have that be the opening date for the Virgin Islands. Okay, now, if you're looking to book a charter, and that's your reason for being on the webinar, then there are some deals to be had, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. The Mediterranean bases and Sweden, we tentatively expect to have open mid-May. Likewise, we'd like to reopen the BVI base mid-May. Newport is still scheduled to open in June, and the Seychelles in the fall of this year. So if you want to make a booking, now is a great time. You can call our toll-free number, 800-807-1562, or email charter@navigare-yachting.com. You can put down a deposit, and it's a 20% deposit. If you book online, 5%. If you do call our number and mention this webinar, we'll honor that 5% booking. And if you make your bookings between now and April 30th, the sooner the better. We have very nice discounts that change as the date gets closer to April 30th. So the best discounts are now, and phasing down as we get closer to April 30th. But you will be eligible for free rebooking if you do book a charter and travel restrictions prevent your charter. So it couldn't be a better time to do a booking. I have never seen any discounts like we're seeing now. So remember, you can lock in your savings now and charter later. So you can book for a later date. Just get that charter locked in. So if you're with companies that we didn't mention, check out the terms and conditions with that charter operator or your broker. Great resource. And of course, airlines have been extremely liberal in their rebooking policies. I've got a couple flights I've had to rebook, and there are no questions asked. I don't expect any problems over the next 30, 45 days. Remember, I have only had my passport refused once for travel because I was in that 6-month validity date, so check your passports. I'm going to talk about one great reason why Navigare has some wonderful charter benefits, and one of those is our Carefree package that includes no security deposit, insurance coverage, so you don't have to put down a damage waiver or a security deposit. It includes the cleaning, sheets and towels, dinghy, outboard, fuel, propane, water tanks, snorkeling gear, prepaid BVI mobile phone with text of the weather every day, national parks permit, and Wi-Fi. We want to have super transparent pricing and no surprises with that Carefree package, along with the cost of the boat. That's it. So, got yacht. How do you get a boat? How do you buy a boat in one of the charter and place it in one of the charter companies? So, yes, there are ways to make money with a charter boat, and what I'd like to do is have a webinar specifically on that. I could spend lots of time talking about how to put a boat in the charter fleet. And right now, if you buy a boat, put it in charter, you can earn up to 12% of the yacht purchase price in annual revenue for 7 years. So right now, the Fed has cut the interest rate to 0%. I don't expect savings to be doing too well. I know this is an uncertain time, but we can put a little certainty in your pocket if you're looking for really a very fun investment. I'd love to see you at boat shows, as would all of the charter companies. There have been a number of charter companies canceled. I'm sorry, a number of boat shows that have been canceled. The Palm Beach Boat Show was actually rescheduled for mid-May. I'm not sure that's actually going to happen. The Pacific Boat Show in Richmond, California was canceled. The Annapolis Spring Boat Show was canceled. I'm really bummed. I wanted to be at all of those and meet many of you at those shows. Look forward to seeing you at the Newport, Rhode Island Boat Show in September and the Annapolis Boat Show in Maryland. So part of buying a boat and putting a boat in charter and really for the industry is the update on the shipyards. What's happening with the shipyards? The majority of the charter boats in the world today come from France, and France has been pretty hard hit by the coronavirus, and the factories have shut down. It was originally a couple of weeks. That's coming to an end. Early word is that boats that are near the end of the production line or out of production, ready to deliver, may make it to the commissioning yards for commissioning and delivery. So we may get some boats out, but today there's no access to the harbors. There's no delivery crews cannot get to the boats to take them to the cargo ships. The commissioning yards aren't open, and frankly, the bases may not have personnel to accept a boat if it was delivered. anyway, we're going to keep you abreast of the situation in the boatyards as we get it. I just want you to know that even though new inventory will be slightly delayed for the boats coming into our Mediterranean bases for the summer season, we do have boats in stock for the upcoming November 2020 season in the Mediterranean, in the Virgin Islands and in Thailand. So right now, I would like to bring on my friend and colleague and my base manager in the Virgin Islands, Mr. Compton Wentz.
Friends and family, greetings from the British Virgin Islands, the charter company, the charter capital of the world. We at Navigare Charters in the BVI cannot wait getting you back on the water. We pledge to take care of you like you're a family. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, Twitter. Share on social media the posts to introduce your family and friends to Navigare. If you are chartered with Navigare or any other of our colleagues, please share your feedback on Facebook or TripAdvisor. We will post the links to you or most popular destinations in the notes when we post the recording online. Family, the BVI team asks you to rate us on TripAdvisor. You can rate us about your most memorable experience, the food, service, the anchorage, the base staff, and how well we have taken care of you. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you, Compton. We were hoping to get live video from Compton. Good to hear from him. Again, my friend, and I spend about a week a month in the Virgin Islands with Compton and the team, and I really excited about getting back down there. So right now, I'd like to open this up to questions and answers. And I have assisting me our global marketing director, Marilyn O'Shea, and she's going to send me a few questions.
Hey, Philip, there was just one comment from someone in the industry who said that there was an announcement recently from Moorings and Sunsail, who indicated that their BVI base will not reopen in July or August. I think this is pretty new, and we did not have visibility to this. I don't know if Compton has heard this before as well.
Yeah, didn't know that for a fact. However, I do see or have heard that a lot of the boats at the Moorings base and Sunsail base are being pulled out of the water, and so that was an inference. I wasn't really sure if that was permanent. So I don't have an absolute answer on that, but it looked like it when some of the boats started coming out of the water.
Question from one of our charter guests with a booking in May in BVI. The question is, at what point will you make a decision on the opening? So perhaps you can speak to that.
That's a great question, Kyle. We will be making a decision as soon as we can. Our goal is to open as soon as it's safe. We want to make sure that our base staff is safe, and that all our guests and owners are safe. So when the situation is stabilized and safe, we'll be opening up our base. The actual dates are really going to be determined as we move forward. We had mentioned mid-May. as an optimistic date. If I had a magic wand, I'd tell you for sure, but I think June 1st might be more realistic. If you are making a booking, you may want to consider a June or July booking.
We have another question from Jonathan. Do you anticipate that the situation will affect the 12% return on boats investors placed into charter?
Yeah, Jonathan, that's really a great question, and I'm glad you asked it. It's likely that. Well, let me back up just a second. With Navigare, our charter terms are for 7 years. So when somebody invests in a boat and places it in our care, we want to make sure that first it's perfectly maintained and safe for a long period of time. That's 7 years. It has to be clean and charter ready and in perfect condition. So it's a long-term investment, and I believe that the 12%, up to 12%, mind you, that's on our shared revenue program, is not likely this year. I know we've just sending out our quarterly checks to our owners, and some of them are less than 12%, but our guaranteed revenue owners are getting their checks, and they're locked in. So that's a guarantee. So over the long term, yes, I do expect a good, healthy revenue with the conditions we're seeing now that are unheard of. It's certainly going to be difficult for this year. We've had other incidents, hurricanes, where we've been able to reopen the base and get the boats up and running, and so we've done well in those periods. This is a little more uncertain.
Great. We have a couple of people asking about copy of the presentation. We will post copy of the slides from today's presentation and the recording online. I think we have time for a few more questions, and then we will close. One of our owners actually is asking about their boat that is currently in Guadeloupe, awaiting delivery to BVI. I think we've answered this a little bit earlier in terms of not having access to crew, but realistically, what can you say about this particular situation?
Bonjour, bonsoir en fait. We have two boats that were headed to the Virgin Islands, and our process is to get them commissioned at the yard right by the base, put them on a cargo ship to Guadeloupe, and they sail to the Virgin Islands. The crew was on the boat, ready to sail them to the Virgin Islands when the Virgin Islands closed their borders. So unfortunately, we have them in the care of our partner company that we work with. Actually, they do a lot of the commissioning for us in France. They do our deliveries in France, our deliveries in Guadeloupe. So currently in the care of our commissioning partners. And again, as soon as we can get crew into Guadeloupe and from Guadeloupe to the British Virgin Islands, we're going to be getting those boats delivered. We want them there. We have an amazing base. Compton and his team, skeleton team, as it is, are taking good care of all of our boats, and we'd much rather have them home with us.
Okay, terrific. And I wanted to alert the investors on the call, yacht owners with Navigare, that we are planning a dedicated communication to them. We're still sorting out a little bit of those details. I don't know, Philip, if you have much to say on this matter, but we know we need another 10 days, maybe 2 weeks to prepare all the answers to the questions that we know you have. And I don't know if you have anything else to add as far as our existing investors, Philip.
Yes, I will have answers soon. But today, I do not have a date for a conference call or webinar with our owners.
And somebody
I did actually speak with Jesper about that today, and we are putting that together.
Okay, sounds great. We have a few more questions. I'm trying to go through as many as possible. A few people have said that the med dates are not realistic, and we know we're kind of rolling on a 2-week basis. Other companies are using 4 or 6 weeks to kind of adjust their policies. So do you wish to comment on the time frame for the med basis at this moment?
The med bases, I'm less tuned into the med bases, but we are looking at border openings. Really, that's our key. I would suspect that within a week or two of the borders being open and travel being allowed freely in Europe, we'll have the bases open. We're really excited to not only get our bases open so all of you can be out doing what we love, but we have all of our team members who are furloughed, and we're really eager to get them back at work and have as normal a season as we can pull out this year.
Sounds great. I can't answer all the customer service and rebooking questions. If you booked directly with Navigare, please contact us. Can you still hear me okay, Philip?
Yes, I can.
My Wi-Fi is going in and out. If you have not gotten your answers, just send us an email follow-up through the contact page on our website, and we'll do our best to respond promptly. So please bear with us. We have, like everybody else, a high volume of inquiries, and it's a little bit difficult to get to everyone in time, but that's what we're working to do. Another yacht sales question. Honor is planning to buy a catamaran and wants to know if we're still offering 11 to 12% guaranteed income program.
I don't believe we've ever had an 11 or 12% guaranteed income program. That percentage is very typical for our owners who are in our ultimate or shared revenue program. The typical range is about 9% for our mid-sized catamarans in the Virgin Islands for a guaranteed revenue, our complete program. So we have boats available. Love to speak with you, have a great team standing by, and love to get you out sailing. Lots of benefits to having a boat in our charter fleet.
Okay, I think that's it for the questions. We have a comment from Jonathan who's thanked us for a very honest presentation, and he acknowledges that we're all in a tough situation. So thank you for that, Jonathan. We have one more question that was from Elaine from the industry. She's actually a writer in the yachting industry, and she's asking, perhaps it's too early, but given the sharing economy business model that in the last decade turned the world on its end, what do you see ahead for the sharing economy vis-a-vis bareboat charter?
Wow, what a great question. Thank you so much. I have been trying to say the same thing, that the charter industry really is that sharing economy for years. It really is. Our new boats are a pretty big asset. So not everybody can afford a boat for their personal use, only being able to sail sometimes only a few weeks a year. So putting a boat in a charter fleet, being able to sail really almost to your heart's content in some programs is a great way to have your investment not just pay for itself, but be cash flow positive in most cases, and get out and enjoy the water. So I'm very, very optimistic about the sharing economy. Even the manufacturers have looked at the global yacht sales, and certainly the charter industry has been the prime mover in global yacht sales.
Great, Philip. I'll leave you with two thoughts. For someone who asked about yacht availability for a specific model, you can contact Philip by email, philip@navigare-yachting.com, and that's spelled PHILLIP. It's also on the second slide, which we will share with you online when you revert to it. Somebody had a little bit of a concern question, which was considering what is going on right now, and this person is actually looking to buy a charter yacht. His name is Michael. If the situation drags on longer, do you think everyone in the industry will survive?
Michael, wow, you know, I'll be very, very honest with you. We have had some really interesting conversations as management of Navigare Yachting. We're a very strong, stable company, great balance sheet, typically extremely good revenue. We will survive this crisis. We have plans for worst case scenarios, basically losing the BVI season completely. We've been running models for that. So yes, I believe with some pretty harsh measures, the charter companies will survive. It'll be extremely difficult. We'll have repercussions for quite some time, but I'm optimistic that all my colleagues in the industry are really smart people and very good business people. And I believe that there will be a charter industry, and I'm an important player in the industry for a long time to come.
Thank you, Philip. And we had a few messages from concerned guests, even a couple brokers, about the ability to honor bookings in 2021. I just want to reassure our clients that we can't exist without them, and we will take every measure possible to allow them to use their credit. And we will be as flexible as we can. We just truly care, and we want to make it out alive, and we want you to continue selling with us again, not just on your future credit, but for many years to come. I'll leave you to close, Philip, and we will be done. Thank you.
Well, thanks again. Again, a crazy, crazy time in the world. I appreciate all of you sticking with us and listening in on this webinar. We'll be updating everybody regularly via our website. Again, contact me directly, contact our charter booking side for charter bookings. The industry needs you. Contact your brokers, other charter companies. Let's keep getting out, doing what we love. I look forward to seeing all of you out on the water soon. Thanks again, and I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you on our next presentation.